need if you want to access some information about the science. And also, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I believe is the correct way to introduce the science if you're speaking to a prospect, to a partner, or to a distributor. Is that okay?
Perfect.
Can you hear me? Oh, okay, perfect. Thank you. So I'm gonna share my screen. So as you know, guys, we have the most researched nutritional product on the planet. Okay, so some 25 years ago, the Juice Plus company decided to really throw a lot of effort into having these scientific studies done on the product, which is quite a gutsy move, if I have to say, because I don't know, there is no other company out there that is prepared to take their products and put them on the scrutiny of scientific research and independent research. And I'm not talking about, sometimes you may go online and you may see, oh yeah, especially I see a lot of ladies here, you may see maybe like an advert about like a skin product or something like that. And they say, oh yeah, this product has been proven that, it reduces wrinkles by 20%, for example, or something like that, right? And they may have done these analysis, in just like a lab that is just, maybe it's even internal to their own manufacturing facility or anything like that. So what we are talking about here, when we're talking about scientific studies, we are not talking about things like that. So we're not talking about Juice Plus setting up, a lab in their own offices in Memphis or here in Switzerland, and trying to come up with some nice numbers to make it look like the product is more bioavailable or something like that. So what Juice Plus has done is basically partnered with the most prestigious university hospitals all around the world, the most prestigious scientific centers, and has said, right, take this product and put it to the test and see if it really is any good. Okay, this is literally what happened. Okay, so let me share my screen with you so that I can show you what I'm talking about. Now you should be able to see the Juice Plus website at the moment, correct? Somebody just gives me like a thumbs up or something. Yeah, okay, perfect. Thank you, Katis. Now, what I'm showing you here is a little bit different than what you may see if you go on your own Juice Plus website, because I'm looking at the American website. Yeah, as you know, America, they've got this new version of the website. We are gonna get it sooner here. So if normally, I'm assuming that most of you would be on if you go on the normal Juice Plus website, that would be this one, right? The UK one. But if you go to so here you can see a list of all the university, all the research center that Juice Plus is partnered with. So we're talking about King's College London. I mean, some of these names are being thrown around now that we're talking about studies that are being conducted on COVID. So this is like the cutting edge of the scientific authority, medical authority all around the world. So what you want to do when you're here, if you go on the reason why I said you can go on the American website is because it is just explained in a little bit more cleaner and neater fashion. So once you've selected US, you go to the bottom of the screen and here you see clinical research. If you click on it, it takes you to this one page where it explains really, really simply what happened. So we've done 41 at the moment individual Juice Plus clinical studies that have been conducted by researchers and leading hospitals and universities all around the world. And they've been published in peer-reviewed scientific journals. So what does this mean? It means that once the study has been done and once the study has been complete and they've produced, they said, okay, we believe that this is what happens, right? So let's look at that example. So this is all the list of all the universe. So say, for example, the study on bioavailability. Yeah, this one was done in 1996 by the University of Texas Health Science Center. Now, they've done 21, for example, on the subject of bioavailability, we don't have just one study that confirms it. Bioavailability means that that the product is absorbed within the bloodstream, and then the bloodstream basically maximizes the intake of all the micronutrients of fruit and vegetables and berries from the capsules. We don't have just one study that proves this. We have 21 studies, okay, done by University of Texas Health Center, University of Arizona twice, King's College, University of Sydney, Australia, Medical University of Vienna, Austria, University of Milan, Italy, University of Florida again, University of North Carolina, Tokyo Women's Medical University. I mean, if all these places say that Juice Plus is bioavailable, should we believe that Juice Plus is bioavailable? As a health professional, I would say most definitely. Yeah. So we cannot even compare these with another product that they've never done any study at all. Okay. When you click on any of these links, it takes you directly to the publication. A lot of them are PubMed or Science Direct or any of these, where you will able to read, in most cases, an abstract that tells you basically the result from that specific study. A lot of them you can get access to them, but they are paid for. A lot of medical professional, if you're dealing with a medical professional, they will have access to these because it's part of their, you know, for example, doctors, they're part of, you know, the British Medical Association, BMA, they will have access to these. So when we are looking at these studies, here it says they are peer reviewed. What does it mean? It means that once these University of Texas Health Science Center, they've done this study in 1996. First of all, most of these studies are done with in a what's called double-blind placebo-controlled. Double-blind means that and placebo controls means that you take, when you've got the subjects that are taking Juice Plus, you don't give Juice Plus to everybody. 50% of them, you give them Juice Plus or whatever it is that you want to test. 50% you give them a placebo, which basically means it's nothing. It doesn't have any properties. And then what you do is you measure basically the difference. So if the people that you've given the Juice Plus product get certain benefits, and the people that you have given them the placebo don't get the benefit, it means that those benefits are the results of taking the Juice Plus product. Now, what you need to do is also very important when you do these studies, that you do what's called a double blind. So the person that is taking the product doesn't know that they are taking Juice Plus or they are taking the placebo, but also the person that is doing the research also doesn't know if what they're looking at is the blood, for example, of somebody that is taking Juice Plus or not. So this is done to ensure that there is that there is no influence or anything like that, so that the person that is analyzing the data is not influenced and saying, okay, you know, I want to make the data look good, so I'm going to take this one and skew it a little bit, right? Because they don't know if what they're looking at is the person that has taken Juice Plus or the person that has taken the placebo. So this guarantees that the study is done in a very impartial way. Now, what does peer review means? Peer review means that once the study has been done, before it is published, because these are all published studies, before they are published on any of the journals, what it means that it needs to be peer reviewed. It means that somebody else who is also a researcher and sometimes a team of people, they need to look at also the study and say, yep, I believe that this study was done with appropriate scientific scrutiny. So to have any of the study published on any of the journals, it needs to be considered of a very, very high quality. Otherwise, it's not going to pass the scrutiny. And even if the study has been done, somebody may say, yeah, this study was okay, but you know, we don't believe it's deemed worthy of being published on a scientific journal. And we have 41 of them. So here you can see the study results on all the properties, that all the things that Juice Plus helps with: bioavailability and nutrients, heart health, immune system, which of course is incredibly important right now. We've got 5 studies done on the immune system: DNA, oxidative stress, inflammation, lung health, healthy skin, dental health, wealth management as well. And we also have some studies that are underway. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 studies that are underway as well. So you can look at these as well. If you're looking for, now, how do you present these when you are talking to somebody? If you're talking to somebody that is a medical professional, please, and you are not a medical, can you still hear me okay? All right. If you're speaking to somebody that is not a medical professional, then, well, let me start first. If you're speaking to somebody that is a medical professional and you're not a medical, can you hear me now?
Yeah, sorry, Daniele, my fault.
Oh, that's okay, no worries. Yeah, did you hear me okay, or was I mute? I'm not sure when I was muted and when I wasn't.
It was very few seconds.
Oh, okay, perfect. So if you're presenting these to a health or medical professional and you are not a health or medical professional, now I'm going to give you like a little bit of a, you know, doctors, they, you know, when you're speaking to them, you need to massage their ego a little bit, okay? Especially if you're not a health professional yourself. So don't go to them and throw the clinical studies at them and try and lecture them, because they are not going to take it very well, because they're going to say, oh, you know, what do you know? Maybe they don't tell you to your face, but they're more likely to think, okay, you know, who are you? What do you know? Who are you to lecture me on clinical studies and things like that? The best way to approach a medical professional is to tell them, look, you know, I've come across this product. It seems to have a lot of science behind it, but I'm not a medical professional. You are the medical professional. You are the expert. What is your, would you give me your opinion? And then they're going to listen to you. And then you have a chance of sending them the link to the website or something like that. And you have more chance of succeeding. If you want to talk about some of the science to somebody that is not a medical professional, you can send them this link here to this page by any means. What you can also do, depending on what specific condition you want to insist in, I suggest that sometimes the better thing to do, because a picture is worth 1,000 words, is if you go on YouTube and you look for the Juice Plus website, but the main one, so which is basically the American one. Don't look for the UK one. Go and search for the American one. There are a couple of playlists that are going to be really, really useful for you. One is, you find it right here. It's called The Science of Juice Plus. And when you open it, I'm just going to show you the video here on the left. You can choose the video that speaks specifically. For example, we have a video here that is very quick. There is some background noise, but you have a video here that is very quick that talks about the impact of Juice Plus on obesity, for example, cholesterol and inflammation. And these are really quick and they're really nice, and they are done also in a kind of like an infographic way. So I find them quite nice, and they're quite easy to explain if you wanna show them to people, especially these one that look more like an infographic. So take a look at them, and you see they're quite visually appealing. They've got the text. The speaker speaks very clearly. So these are very good to send to somebody that is not a medical professional. What you can do as well, there is another playlist. I'm just going to show it to you, and then I'm done with my 15 minutes. Okay, we're back here. We have another, let me close this. Another playlist. If you scroll down, obviously here you got again athletes if you need more of that. Here you have another playlist, Health Professionals Review Juice Plus. And then again, you can see here, these are doctors speaking on camera, and you see a whole different one of them. They talk about the nutrition, they talk about mental and well-being, the immune system. There is a lot of them. So you just take a look at them, pick the one that you like. They're all very short videos. So, you know, you don't want to send a video that is too long, that lasts for like 10, 15 minutes, but these are all like 1.5 minute videos. So they're very quick, and maybe they will give you that little bit of you know, it's a doctor speaking now, the products are effective, it's going to help you a lot if you just need a little bit of that to convince your customer, or to convince the person that maybe wants to dig a little bit more on the research on that specific topic, that the product can really help for that. Okay. I hope this is useful, and this is kind of like empowering you in using the research in an effective way. Okay, so just know that the research is just like another tool that we have in our toolbox. So don't overemphasize it, because in as much as we have amazing research, it's not going to be the thing that is gonna make a huge difference. But in certain cases, if you need it, I would suggest, you know, send some of these videos, and if you're speaking to a medical professional, use that little language that I've suggested you. I think my time is finished. I hope I stayed within the 15 minutes. Thank you.
Great, Daniele. Thank you very, very much. That was amazing. Sorry, everyone, if there's background noise, I'm doing my best to. So if you are not unmuted, if you could mute yourself, that'd be absolutely really highly appreciated. So Daniele, that was amazing. Thank you very, very much, and some really wonderful tips there. And one of the things that I have learned is to go into the US website, as Daniele was saying, because the US website is extremely comprehensive. So all the scientific studies there, and it's absolutely incredible. So, and it's also deeply humbling, I find, that whenever I come across and meet any of the company personnel, particularly the people that are involved in developing all the information for us for the websites and everything, and some of the US people I've met, I think, my goodness, these people are so committed. You know, they're working so hard for us, and there are the most extraordinary resources there. So if you haven't been into your back office, your virtual office, as we call it, then please do so in a really extensive way, and really go through it, because there's so much wonderful information there. Good. All right. So here we go. And I'm so excited about the fact that we've got our next speaker. And I'm very pleased that I boosted my Zoom account yesterday so that we were able to go significantly over 100. I looked at my plan yesterday, and it only had a capacity of 100. And I thought, oops, I need to change that. So we managed to change that. And here we are with 340 people on, so 340 amazing people. So I'm going to, meanwhile, I'm admitting people to the conference. So I'm going to introduce to you now the wonderful, wonderful guest. This is absolutely amazing, the person we've got on now. Now, we've got a slight change in the program now. So we've got Eddy Vermeer, who's on now. So, so Eddy asked to be put on a little bit earlier, and that's absolutely fine. So here we go. This guy is an absolute legend. Get ready with notes, because he is going to speak like a guru. So get ready. So Eddy Vermeer signed up in, wait for this, in 1996. Took him 15 years to go NMD. In 2011, old school, he says. But he never gave up on his dream. September 2013, together with his wife Peggy, he started to use social media to build a business. Their lives changed totally since that day. Because one year later, not one day later, 1 year later, Eddy became IMD.
Come on, you.
2014. Can you mute yourself, please, everyone? Mute yourself, that'd be great. EMD in March 2015. Only 1 month later, June 2015, he became PMD. And a Club 100 member in 2015, PMD Plus in July 2020. Today he gave, he has 35 NMDs or above in his organization. His goal is to have at least 10 more NMDs and 3 more PMDs plus in his team by the end of this year. Can you believe it? His favorite quotes are, "We were not born winners or losers, we were born choosers." I love that. And that's by Les Brown. A dream can take you anywhere, but only action takes you to your dream. So are you ready for it, everyone? Please mute yourself. If you can, everybody mute yourselves, and we welcome the most incredible Eddy Vermeer.
Hi guys, good morning everyone. Nikki, oh, okay, she's muted. Okay, super. All right guys, sorry for the changing plans, you know, because in 10 minutes I need to run anyway, but I'll do my best to give you the best information I have. Okay, So the leader you need to be to take yourself to NMD. Okay. In my opinion, mindset is everything. You can have thousands YouTube videos, you can have thousands studies, etc., etc. Mindset, your mindset is everything. If you think you can or you can't, you are always right, right? So also to become an NMD, you need to become your own critical boss. And you need to have a very strong belief system. So let me give you a great example. Last month, December 2020, we created a new NMD in Belgium. So Magali, she's a frontline distributor and she started as an active distributor in January 2020. Last month, around the 15th of December, her volume was about 35,000. 35,000. As you may know, you need 48,000 to become a national marketing director. Now, at that time, Magali said to me, Eddy, I am too far. I'm not going to make it. It is actually impossible. To keep a long story short, she qualified as a brand new national marketing director on the 28th of December and with a volume of 62,000 instead of 48,000. Now, what about that? Now, what happened? I said to her, Magali, small thinkers will always have small businesses. And that's a fact, okay? So I told her my story and asked her to burn all her doubts and to believe in herself, to believe in her team, and to work hard for it until the last minute of December 2020. I told her to dream bigger, much bigger than ever before, and to believe nothing is impossible. From now, she will pass this message to her own team, and guess what will happen? Guess what her goal is by the end of 2021? Absolutely, PMD. That's it. So what do you need to become an NMD yourself? Like I said, you need to dream much bigger. You need to set a goal that scares you. Make sure you see yourself as an NMD, as a brand new NMD, at least by the end of this year. Remember, small thinkers will always have small businesses. Okay? So where will you be within 3 months? Put a date on it. Put a goal in it. Where will you be in 6 months of time? Where will you be in 9 months of time? And of course, where will you be by the end of this year? Make a note, guys. Put NMD by the end of December. If she can do it, you can do it. That's a sentence Emma Schnedden once said on stage when I was looking at her. Okay, if I can do it, you can do it. I say the same words. Okay, so you need to make a decision also. Okay, so going NMD or higher is a decision. We all have this. We all have the same products. We all have the same wonderful company. We all have the same marketing plan, bonus plan, the same 24 hours a day. So if you realize that others can go NMD within 1 year, what do you think what's possible for you? All NMDs, James and all the other NMDs here on the Zoom, they made the decision. And by making a decision, they took the necessary actions. They didn't wish for it. They worked hard for it. And as James already said about my quote, a dream, think about it. A dream can take you anywhere, right? On the nicest beaches or wherever, but only action, massive action, can take you to your dream. So don't forget that. You also need you also need to have a DMO that that you can handle every single day, because consistency is very important in our business, and actually in every business. If you work online and you're one day offline, you are not visible for 1 week. If you're not online for 1 week, for example, you are not visible for 1 month. So again, you need to have the discipline, and you need to become your own critical boss. Okay? Make sure you duplicate also the 1001 in your team. That's what I did, and that's what I'm still doing. The 1001 is the best way to duplicate your business. Now, question: would you pay yourself 10,000 euros or pounds a month for doing 1,001 a month? Would you pay yourself 5,000 pounds for doing 1,001 a month? Would you pay yourself 1,000 euros a month for doing 1,001? You should ask yourself every day, how much would I pay myself for my own productivity today? And then you will have your own answer, guys. Then you will know if you are one step further to your NMD qualification or still 10 steps behind. Then the next thing, don't waste your time on negative people or chickens. Negative people, you know, we all know them, okay? The dream stealers. You can never do it. This will never work. These are all fairy tales or blah blah blah. Those are the dream stealers. Those are the negative people. Don't waste your time on negative people, and also not on chicken. I told yesterday, what will happen when you throw a chicken into the air? It falls down, right? What if you do this 10 times again? It falls down 10 times, right? What will happen if you throw up an eagle? It flies by itself. So be very careful and critical who is worth your time, because your used up time is never coming back. So don't waste your time and energy on negative people or chicken, okay? So I hope you understand now, nothing is impossible for you to. Never underestimate your own power. You only need to make a decision and take massive action. And you need to stretch your mindset and your belief system. That's all you need to do. Okay? So again, you can have thousands YouTube videos, or you can have 1,000 studies. As long as you don't do something with it, it's not going to happen. Okay? Of course, you need to use the tools. That's for sure. Now, guys, these days, many people are looking for solutions, right? Health-wise, financially. We have the solution. We have the solution in this company. We have the solution for everyone, okay? For everyone who is ready for it. The question is, what are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with this amazing opportunity? Because you have gold in your hands. So, in my opinion, guys, it's time to wake up now, okay? It's time to wake up and take serious action. Because if you don't, someone else around you, your friends, family, neighbors, whatever, they will. And they will build their life of their dreams. You always wanted. So going NMD is always about the man or woman in the glass and nobody else. I'm so sorry now because I need to run. I hope I gave you some small information, but the only thing what you can do, guys, again and again and again, think about it. Stretch your mind, believe in yourself, believe in yourself. It took me 15 years to become a national marketing director. I never gave up because I believed in the system, I believed in the company, and for sure, I believed in the product, okay? So do not underestimate it. you have really gold in your hands. It took 15 years. Now you go NMD in 1 year. 15 years, 1 year. It's up to you. You can choose, okay? You can choose. We are not born winners or losers. We all were born as choosers. Okay? James, I'm so sorry. Guys, I wish you all a very, very great training today. And I hope you can do something with it. So for sure, we will see each other again, okay?
Yeah, amazing.
Is it okay? Is it okay when I go, because the people are waiting for me out there?
And tell us where you are. You're in Portugal?
Yes, that's it. Maybe I can say it, right?
Please.
Okay, so just very quickly, 15 years ago, no, let's say 25 years ago, I had nothing. I worked my butt off for, I was a mother and a father for my 2 boys. But I worked my butt off, and at the end of the day, at the end of the month, I had nothing left. But I still had big dreams. So I was very lucky. I discovered this company. I was very lucky to be invited, and I did something with it. Okay, it took me 15 years, old school, because old school, I mean, it was the only thing we had was a phone at home and a fax machine. Okay, so there were other times at that time. Today, I'm living the dream. I'm really living the dream, as many national marketing directors and above. Okay, so we have a house in Belgium now. We have I'm here in our new house in Portugal, and now I need to run to the architect who is waiting for me outside, because we are going to build a second house in Portugal. That's how it can go. The thing is, again, guys, you have gold in your hands. The thing is, what are you going to do with it? Okay, now I need to run, guys. So I love you all, and hope to see you soon in real life. Okay. All right, James.
Fantastic. Awesome. Thank you so much. Well
You're
done.
welcome.
Good luck with the house. And let's go to Paula. Thank you, Eddy. Brilliant.
Have a nice day, guys. Bye-bye. Love you all. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Eddy.
Take care, Eddy. Thank you.
Oh my God, everyone, how amazing was Eddy? I'm absolutely buzzing sitting here. I'm writing notes and I'm just going to pick out a few. So we just have to remember we need to believe in ourselves. Guys, if you can mute yourselves as well when you come on, that would be great. And mindset is everything. And everybody says this time and time again. It's just, we've just got to work on our mindset. If we think we can, we can. And if we think we can't, we can't. So what do we want to feed our minds? I'm not going to go through, you've all got your own notes, you've all heard it. But what I will say is, what are you going to do with your golden opportunity? Write down your goals, your 3 months, your 6 months, your 9 months, and put your date on of what you're going to achieve. Okay, so I am going to introduce now our gorgeous Michelle Towley. I hope I said that right, Michelle. And Michelle is going to be talking to you today about creating your dream team. Now, Michelle joined the Juice Plus company in 2014 after her husband got made redundant. And she's an EMD Club 100. How amazing is that? She is a mum of 1, and she built her business alongside working full time. So when people say, I haven't got time, think of Michelle, who built an EMD business around a full-time job. I'll keep on going.
So when I did.
Sorry, can you mute yourself, please, whoever's talking? Thank you. But after 14 years in a corporate career, she finally resigned in August of last year to concentrate on building her business full time. So Michelle, we are all really, really looking forward to your golden tips of how to create your dream team. Are you there, Michelle?
Yeah, can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
We've just had the dustbin men arrive. You couldn't write this morning. It's either technical issues or something going on outside my house. But anyway, we're here. Happy New Year, everybody. Thank you so much for having me on this morning. I don't quite know how I'm going to follow Eddy, but I will give it my best shot. He was incredible. I've got goosebumps listening to that. I've got a presentation, so hopefully I'm okay to share my screen.
Yep.
And it'll all work. So let's have a little look and then we can get started. Oh, we just need to make it bigger so you don't see all of my, it's not working. Oh, it's because you shared it. You're on the share screen. Hold on 1 second. We're just going to try and get this bigger for you so you can actually see the whole screen. Oh, stop the share. That's it. And then on here, you need to make it bigger. Sorry, Shanton's doing this for me this morning. You know what I'm like with these technical issues. There we go. Perfect. So welcome everybody to my presentation. I'm hopeful that I am going to show with you how to expand your network this morning and create your dream team whilst offering the opportunity to as many people as possible. You can give all of the tools and tips. I can give you all of the tools and tips, sorry, but it is down to you, like Eddie said, that has to go out there and do the work to build your business. Your upline, your sidelines, they can't do it for you. You've got to go out there and do it yourself. So I really, really liked this formula, social media success formula, content plus engagement plus conversation. So it is really, really simple. I think sometimes we can really overcomplicate things, but that is what we just need to remember when we're going out there and we are looking for the success that we want in our business is our content, our engagement, and our conversation. So I'm going to break this down into sort of sections for you today. And what is your ideal person? So what you need to do is you need to get really, really focused and really, really specific on what your ideal person to you, not to somebody else, to you, is within your business. Okay, so designing your dream team. This for me is the most exciting part. But as I said, you need to really get specific with who it is that you want into your team. So if you don't know who you want in your team, this is just a really quick exercise that I do with my team in terms of looking for their ideal or specific person. So you can draw. I'm no drawer. Mine would be a stick man, but I would say visually it's easier to do it with a little person. And then what you would do is you would put in there the age range that you're looking for. So for me, mine would probably be anybody between the age of sort of 20 to 35, 40. What the location that you're looking them. So where would they be? Is it going to be within your local area? Are you looking for somebody to build a team? I would always say start with the UK, because obviously that's the compensation plan that we're familiar with, or wherever you are based. What is it that they like? So do they like fitness? Do they like gym? Do they like going on holiday? What are their likes and their interests? And where does your person or your girl hang out? So again, is it trendy bars? Is it mums groups? Is it clubs? Is it gyms? So right, spend some time doing this. Obviously, you don't need to do this now. You can go back and have a little bit of homework and do it afterwards. But where is your girl showing up? Where is she hanging out? So I've just covered that. So finding your dream team, where's your girl hanging out? Location, trendy bars, chic cafes, gyms, restaurants, mums groups. You can also go back to this. So it's a really good exercise to do, because sometimes when you get into things, you sometimes forget what it is that you are looking for. So you can always go back to this and look at it to remind you who your ideal person is. So once you've done this, or if you already know who you're looking for, you can go ahead and start. So for me, I use Instagram when I'm looking for new team members or for new people to join the business, just because I find it easier and it's quicker. And I find that you can have those conversations a lot easier than you can necessarily on Facebook. That's not to say you can't use Facebook. I would say to you, my biggest tip is use what you find most comfortable. So if it's word of mouth, then you can be having those conversations. If it is Facebook, I'll touch on this just because I tend to do everything on Instagram. What I would recommend is that you go into a group on Facebook and you can show up. So if somebody puts a post in there, you can comment on the post. If they're asking for something specific, you could then go into their DMs and send them a link to something or send them some information. And then after that, you can friend request them. So then you are building up a relationship before you are just going on and adding somebody. So that's how I would do it on Facebook. But as I said, for me, I tend to use Instagram. So how I would do this is I would go back to my girl that I'm looking for, and I would search in the search bar at the top. I actually wanted to show you this on the presentation, but we couldn't get the slides to work. So on the top in Instagram, where you can change it to location, so you can put in where you're looking for. So for example, mine might be somewhere local to me. So it might be Watford, that's probably the nearest Oxford sort of town, where they have those trendy bars, they have nice gyms, and you're looking for those types of places. So you're going back to seeing where your girl hangs out. So you can type that into the search bar. Don't just follow randomly, I would say, is another tip. You want to take some time to really look at who you are following. And the main thing here is you're looking for people that have the same similar interests to you, because it is much easier to have a natural, normal conversation with somebody if you've got something in common. So you're building that relationship with already having in mind that you've got similar likes and interests. So what I do is once I have gone on to, let's say, a trendy bar or a chic cafe, I would go on to a post that they've put on and I would look at the likes. I would then add from the likes, because you know that that is a real live active account. So you're adding people from there. So if they've got 5,000 likes, you can then spend time going through those 5,000 people, seeing if it's something that some of the girls you're naturally drawn to, that you think would be someone that you'd like to work with and connect with. Now, I find this incredible. I'll just wait a second until someone's muted, if that's all right. I think we're okay. Yeah, I find this really fascinating and really cool, the fact that we are all in at the moment, especially in the UK, we're all in lockdown, but you can still build your business from the comfort of your home or wherever you are at the touch of a button. And the fantastic thing about this is social media now is used by 3.5 billion people or social media accounts across the world. So you can literally build your business anywhere in the world and connect with people. And I just think that's such a cool aspect to our jobs, that we're having conversations with people that are like halfway across the world in Australia. So once you found that person, yeah, okay, cool. Sorry, I'm just checking my slides. Once you've found that person, you then need to have a look and see and ask yourself if that is someone that you would like to connect with. Are you inspired by them? Would you want to be friends with them? If the answer is yes, then I would follow them. And then I would build up that relationship. Now, how I do this is I would be showing love. So if they're adding stories, I would be showing up with those instant replies, liking their stories, commenting on their posts, liking their posts, and building up a natural organic relationship. Now, this is a little bit more time consuming, but again, my biggest tip to you would be spend some time doing this, because this part is fun. You should be connecting with like-minded people, and this will then start to build your tribe. So it's all about people that you would like in your tribe. So you are expanding and growing your networks by connecting. So add and follow, show them some love, and then start to naturally build up that relationship. Now, once you've done this, what I would then do is you can then start to have those conversations. So you'd be sending a genuine message because you've already built up a relationship. It feels more natural then. And it is easier because you have been genuine in the first place. You feel like you've got a bit of a friendship. And what I would do is on Instagram, you can flag the message so you can see who you've built those conversations up with, who you're building those relationships with. So I'd spend a few days after you've added them to like and comment on their posts. So it is going to take a little bit longer, but it's, as I said, it's natural, it's organic, and it just feels more authentic. So as I said, you can flag the message. That will remind you that they are a potential. And then you can spend those next few days just liking, connecting, and commenting. Then when you go into offer the business, you have already spent time and established that relationship. So you feel like you're already friends. It's not going to feel strange. It's not going to feel like you're spamming them. And you will feel like you're offering them something that they can benefit from, that they're do well in, and it's going to help them. Because as I said, you know them, they know you, you're showing up as well on your social media so they can see what you're doing and they feel like they know, like, and trust you at this point. It's also warming because you've built that relationship up from the first place. So build friends first, make friends first, sorry, build relationships, then offer the opportunity. Now, I was just going to share with you, I get quite a lot of messages from people on my Instagram, basically just sending me a template or a spammy message saying, would you like some information on joining my business? And I think for me, there's absolutely nothing worse when they've spent absolutely no time at all, even having a look at your social media. Hands up, my grid on Instagram, you wouldn't necessarily know that I do Juice Plus from there, but I spend a lot of time putting things on my stories. So I think people, if you spend some time getting to know those people, you know that they're not already doing something already, and you're not offering an opportunity to someone just willy-nilly, so to speak. Now, sharing the opportunity, once you've sent that message to them and you've said to them, look, I really think you'd be fantastic at what it is that I do. I've got something that I think would be interesting to you. Would you like me to send you some information? You can then go ahead and use the tools that you've got for yourself. So you can send your own video. So if you haven't got your own video, if you haven't been in the business very long, you can use your uplines video, or if you've got a potentials group, and I think most of us have access to a potentials group, you can pop them in there. Sorry, but if you can try and do your own video, even just something short and sweet, a minute, couple of minutes, because the thing here is you've built that relationship up with them. So they are already going to have things in common with you. They already feel like they know you. So your own video is definitely going to work better because it's you that they are coming to and you that they have said, yeah, I'd actually like to take a look at it. But as I said, if you haven't got your own, there are plenty of tools available for them to have a little look at. Most of the people that you've then offered the opportunity to will come back and say yes. And that is because you've done the background work. So you've already spent the time to make that connection with them, like them. Bear with me 1 minute, I'm just finding my notes. My notes. Yeah, we'll use this slide. Oh no, I found them. So you've, well, as I said, you've already built up that relationship with them. So most of them are going to say yes, they'd be looking at taking some, having a little look at it. Now, once you have sent the video or you've spoken to your potential, the key is in the follow-up. Now, I am, hands up, when I first started, was really, really nervous about doing this. But my biggest tip is don't be scared to ask them. You have to do this. If you spent all of the work beforehand, you have to ask them what they thought. So if you've sent a video and it's a couple of minutes long, maybe ask them and say to them, when do you think you'll have a chance to watch the video? If they say to you, oh, I won't be able to do it until the kids are in bed, then you know that the next day you can then follow up with them. If they say, oh, actually, I've got 5-10 minutes spare this afternoon or in a minute, then you could go up and do that follow-up. So sort of pre-agree a time with them of when you can then go back to them. And then you can go back and ask them, what did they think of the video? Did they have any questions? But what you need to be doing is asking those open questions. So who, what, where, when, and how. When shall we get you started is a really, really good one as well. So don't be afraid to ask those follow-up questions, because the key is definitely in the follow-up. Now, you want to share this opportunity with absolutely everybody, as many people as you can. And I would say don't be emotionally involved at this point, because ask yourself, how long did it take you to sign up? Now, I know I am very, very impulsive. I signed up to the business and bought the products on the same day, because at that particular time, I needed this business. Shannon had been made redundant. We were looking for some extra money. We both needed to lose a little bit of weight and get healthier. So that for me came at the right time, but it's not going to be everybody's right time. So just think about it. Everybody is completely different. Some people take a year, some people take even longer. So what you want to do is not get emotionally involved at this point. Ask yourself as well, how many conversations are you having a day? Now, if you're only having one conversation with one person, the actual statistics, and you can use this as a guide, is only 1 in 10 people will actually say yes. So you need to make sure that you're having at least, I would say, 10 conversations a day. because then you know, if we're using that as a guide, 1 in 10, out of those 10 that you've spoken to, you're only going to get maybe 1 person that signs up and joins the business. It's down to them to make this decision, okay? So as I said, don't get emotionally involved. It's their choice, and they will come back to you as and when they're ready. What you want to be doing is adding to your list every single day. So I have a potentials list, I have a potential business list, and I have a potential product list. So you want to be adding their names. So once you've had that conversation, once you've offered the opportunity, that's what you want to be doing. If you've got like a little connections book, write their names down, because then what you can do is you can refer back to it. And then when you're doing your DMO, you can go back to your connections book and you can go on and like and comment and keep that connection up. That's the whole point of the connections book. So you can keep that connection up. And you may find that you just happen to like or comment or love someone's post, and that is the right time for them. So they might say, actually, we spoke 6 months ago, but I really, really need this opportunity. Can you tell me a little bit more? So that's the point of those connections book. I've done a little checklist for you here. And this hopefully will help you. So you can take a picture. So what you would be doing is you will be building those connections up by adding your stories. So you're doing your social media every day. They're going to see your stories. They're going to see your content on Facebook or Instagram, however you're offering the opportunity. They're going to know how amazing the opportunity actually is. So that is down to you to keep doing that. So I think Eddy said it's about consistency. You have to keep being consistent with showing up, because the people that are watching are always watching, even if they're not liking. So if you've done all the hard work, keep that up, and they will see everything that you're doing. And as I said, they will then come back to you. So this little checklist just goes through the points that I've gone today. So you need to, step 1, add new people, engage on their stories and their posts, like and comment. Step 2 is create that and add that engaging and quality content. So add into your lists and DMing new people. So through stories, through Instagram, through Facebook messages. Offer the opportunity, use the tools that you have available, and then the key is in the follow-up. And then you just repeat that. So there's nothing complicated. You can go back to these steps, you can look at it and just keep repeating it and repeating it. This business is a numbers game, okay? And like Eddy said, it took him 15 years to get to NMD, but if you keep following these simple steps, you'll hear it over and over again, this will help you build your business. So on top of sharing the products, building the excitement, sharing the business opportunity, all of this is going to be seen with those connections. So hopefully all of this has helped you to go out there and find your dream team. And that was the statistic I read a little bit earlier. There are 3.5 billion people that use social media worldwide. So there's plenty of people out there that you can be talking to. Please don't think everybody knows about our products and our business, because they absolutely don't. And it's our job to go out there and share it with all of them.
Wow, Michelle, that was absolutely incredible. And, you know, really, I mean, such a brilliant overview of how to develop your dream team, but just so professionally done. So, I mean, huge shout out to you. Absolutely superb. I think everybody would agree that was like really, really amazing. Would you say? Yep. And such a perfectly simple way to follow the social media path. So thank you, Michelle. Awesome. Thank you. So good. Let me just make sure everyone that you're muted, please. There we go. All right, good. On we go. So, and thanks, Shanton, for the technology. That was amazing. Great. And good that the dustmen have gone. Woo! Right, on we go. So we're brilliantly in time now. So we're now moving on, a little bit of a change around, but we're now talking about how to develop your army of customers. So I'm going to introduce you now the amazing Paula Wilkinson, Senior Sales Coordinator. So there we go. And so Paula is absolutely extraordinary as a person. She's just very, very committed, hugely professional, and I'm going to tell you about her story now. So Paula is an SSC and has been in the business for 6 years. Before Juice Plus, their 15-year-old hair and salon had come to an end. She didn't want to go back to the overheads, long hours and stress of a new business. But as a single mum, wanted something that would give her the freedom to be there for her daughter and her private clients. Loves that the Juice Plus business has given her the freedom she wanted without any overheads and has never needed childcare. She's hugely passionate about her business and the Juice Plus products, something like this. And here we go. Please give an enormous round of applause and welcome to Paula Wilkinson.
Thanks, James, and hi, guys. And just before I get started, can you just all please check that you're muted, just so that everybody can hear? So listen, I haven't got a presentation. I'm just going to talk away. So hopefully I won't miss anything out. It's just going to come from my heart, really. I've got a few notes here anyway. But anyway, so I first started after I went to a presentation with James in Knightsbridge a few years ago. And I just absolutely loved it. I loved, let me put my timer on because then I don't ramble on. Okay, so, yeah, and I had a meeting with James a few days later and I was just like so excited. And I said to him, like, I really want to do this, but I'm just really worried that I won't be able to do it. Does anyone else feel like that? Did anyone else feel like that when they first started? Maybe you've just started and you're feeling like that now. You feel like it's a bit overwhelming. You've never done anything like it. That's exactly how I felt. And James said to me, Paula, you don't sell the products, you share the products. You need to get your story first. And I said, well, can't I just sign up and just get started now? He said, no, you've got to get your story from the products. So I'd already ordered I signed up and I was getting my products. I was just waiting for them. This was just a meeting. But I was like, what if I don't get a story? What if I don't, what if I don't feel as good as all the people did at the event I've been to? So anyway, I started taking the products. And within a couple of days, I just absolutely loved the amount of energy I got. I was just like, wow, I feel like I can fly. So I just automatically started running around and telling everyone, I was like, oh my God, I'm feeling fantastic. I'm absolutely feeling amazing. And in those days, I didn't even do social media. I had an account, but I didn't really do anything on it. So I wasn't doing anything on social media. But my just talking to, I just went around, told my family, told my friends, and they're all like, I want some, I want some, I want some. And I had started on the premium capsules and shakes because back then, I think that's all we had. We didn't have any of the other products, I don't think, like certainly not, no, we didn't, I don't think. That's what I was on. And so that's basically what everybody bought. So, what I need to get across is that excitement is contagious. And that is something I've heard many times over the years, that, we have to share how we feel. I didn't say the product's this, the product's that, the this and that. I was just saying, I'm feeling amazing. I'm feeling fantastic. You've got to give these things a go, right? So write that down. Excitement is contagious, and you need to get excitement about what you're sharing. But what you also need to do is you need to be a product of the product. So what you're taking is what you're going to share. Okay, so if you're just taking, say, the boosters or the berries, that's really all you can talk about because that's all you're feeling, right? So you need to get on as many of the products that you can. So be a product of the product. And then the best thing to do is obviously now everybody's on social media. I don't really do Instagram, and I definitely need to. And so, get onto your social media, do as many of the platforms as you can, and you need to start your own health journey, okay? And what you need to do is you need to document what you're doing. So now is an absolute perfect time, with it being January, with it being lockdown, everybody's feeling like rubbish, apart from us, because we've got the secret, okay? Most people, they're struggling financially. They're probably sitting around overeating. They just had Christmas. They probably put on a few pounds, and they don't know how they're going to feel better about that. But we know. So, we need to be sharing our journey on our social media, showing up, being consistent, and living a healthy lifestyle. So, to do that, Nikki Ransom, can you just mute yourself, please? Thank you. So you need to show you're living a healthy lifestyle. You need to be exercising, taking sweaty selfies, having a shake with you. So, you know, for example, I might take one with me on my yoga mat, and I've just done some Pilates or yoga or something. And my puppy will be laying down by my feet, and you know, because then people take more notice if there's a puppy there, and then it's just about getting attention, and then I'll have a picture of, you know, my shake with me, and just, you know, I've just finished it, but I'll have a shake and just say like, oh God, I'm feeling so full of energy, you know, I love my healthy superfood shake or something, right? So it's just about kind of sprinkling in what you're doing, so you're just kind of adding it all together. So show yourself, like, you know, taking your capsules, right? You know, you've got them in your hand and you're just going, oh, I feel fantastic. I wouldn't start a day without them, right? And don't sell the products, share you. Okay, so people do not want to be sold to. People just go off. If they think they've been sold to, they just turn away straight away. So what you're trying to do is you're sharing you. So that's why you need to be showing up on your social media every single day. Like Eddy said, like Michelle says, like everybody says, you need to be consistent. You can't show up one day and then the next day you can't be bothered. It's a bit like me when I had my hairdressing salon. I wouldn't have been successful for 15 years if I couldn't be bothered to go in on the days I didn't feel like going in. I wouldn't have been successful or had clients if sometimes I was there when it was their 4 or 6 week appointment, and then the next time I wasn't there. So, you know, our social media is our shop. It's our shop window. It's our business, and we've got to treat it like a business and not just I'll do it when I can be bothered kind of thing. Obviously, we're all busy. You know, a lot of us have got children, a lot of us have got other commitments or the jobs, whatever. But the good thing about this business is you can just fit it in the nooks and crannies, a few minutes here, a few minutes there, but you must do it consistently every day and show up. So this business, it's, you know, on our social media, it's a know, like and trust. A lot of people start and then they'll put on a picture, like, you know, a post, and then they'll just say, I didn't get any interaction, or nobody's bought anything. And then they'll, you know, after a couple of times of doing that, they give up. But the secret is it takes time. We're planting seeds. When we put in these posts out, we're planting seeds. You know, what we're doing now is going to show up in 90 days. So you've got to play the long game. You can't just expect instant results. People have got to get to know you. People have got to get to like you, and people have got to get to trust you. And they're going to do that by you showing up and showing, you know, yourself. Okay. They're going to get to like you if you show you. Now, a lot of people try and copy other people, like on their social media. Oh, I like what she's doing. And then they just either copy and paste, or they just kind of just, you know, do exactly what they're doing. But what that is doing is it's not showing you as a person. You're actually pretending you're someone else, right? So people are getting to like you as a person because the next post you put on is actually someone else's post, and like, oh, wait a minute, it looks a bit confusing. So you've got to show you as a person, so people be vulnerable as well, guys. You know, like some days you might not be feeling like exercising. The kids might have had you up all night or whatever. But you might not feel like it, but then, you know, get up, show up, do your exercise, put it on social media and just say, you know, I felt rubbish this morning. I really didn't feel like doing anything, but I you know, remembered that I've committed myself to a healthy lifestyle, or I just know that exercise always makes me feel great, and I've done it, and now I'm feeling amazing. So basically what you're showing to people is, you know, look, you're giving them value. You're saying, look, you might not feel good when you're laying in bed, but look, get up and do something and you're going to feel better. Okay. So that's getting people to, you know, see you as a person that sometimes you're not feeling great, but don't always moan on your social media like, oh, I feel crap, I feel this, I feel that. Turn it around with a positive, and people will get to trust you by you showing up. Okay. So, stories sell and facts tell. Okay, so what we need to be doing is telling stories. We don't want to be just telling facts all the time. We don't want to go into I think it's Ray Higdon, I don't know if you know him, of social media guy in America. He always says, he calls it like, don't talk about the grapety grape and the this and the this and that. Talk about, like, share stories. Share, like, don't talk about we've got the best grape in this, and we've got the best of this, and we've got this, and all these kinds of, people don't really kind of relate to that. Like, some people do, but not the general kind of public, or not right at the beginning. So to get people's attention, you need to be sharing stories. So first of all, I'll go back into that, but learn how to tell your story. So like, try and do it in like less than 60 seconds, like what you were like before Juice Plus, how you're feeling now, like your results that you've had and what you're excited about. So I could just say something like, don't time me. I could say something like, before I started Juice Plus, I thought I was healthy, but I was always tired. I was a busy single mum, racing around from A to B, and I picked up a few colds every year. And I started taking Juice Plus, and honestly, my energy levels are insane. I've never felt better. And this is my 7th year without one day sick, which is absolutely incredible. I'm so excited. I put all this goodness into my body every single day, and I'll never, ever stop taking them. Just something like that. So I'm just sharing. I'm not sharing what they are. I'm sharing what they do to me. So what I said was share what the products do, not what they are. So people don't like, as I said, to be sold to. They want to have their problems solved. So we need to be looking to solve people's problems. Sharing bottles of Juice Plus and Juice Plus in all over people's social media, and your social media won't do you any favors. So I try not to, sometimes I do, I don't want to keep it a secret. I'm extremely proud of our products, but I don't want every time someone to look onto my posts, I'm there with a bottle of Juice Plus and I'm talking Juice Plus, Juice Plus. I try to talk about energy. I try to talk about better skin. I try to talk about being sick less. And I try to talk about the benefits. So whatever your benefits are, try and talk about that, put that into the day, like how great you're feeling. As Michelle was just saying amazingly well just then about finding your tribe for your team, you need to do the same for your those people on your social media will be the same kind of people. So if you're in your 20s and most people in their 20s might not be worried so much about immune health and anti-aging and stuff like that, whereas if you're in your kind of 50s or 60s or something, then people will be more interested in anti-aging and whatever. So just make sure, or if you're a child, if you're so find your tribe on your social media. So say, for example, if you go onto groups like Michelle said, and say you're a young mom and you've got young children and you're lacking energy because you're having less sleep, then you can be saying like, I'm feeling amazing, I had less sleep last night because my child was up all night, but I feel fantastic, and then people that you've added from these groups, I won't go through it because Michelle just has, will be on your social media thinking, oh my God, I want to feel as good as what she is, I want to look as good as what she is. So it's about trying to solve people's problems. So we need to be trying to think, not what promotion can I get? How much can I make this month? How, what position can I get to? What you should be doing when you wake up every morning is thinking, how many people can I help today? How many people can I improve their health? Or how many people just basically can I help? And that's what should be in your mindset. So then you're trying to, help people. So I find that posts that work, you want to be getting conversations going basically, and you want to be getting into people's inboxes, having conversation and solving their problems. Social media is a really busy place. People are scrolling through really, really quick, and they only stop at what they like. So, you need to kind of, have something that kind of jumps out. And that's why I said, if you put in pictures of bottles and people think you're selling, they just won't look at you. So things like obviously sharing your story. Lives are amazing, talking about how great you're feeling, or just different things, adding value. You want to be adding value on your social media, because it's not like every single post has to be about what I'm, trying to help people and, products and that kind of thing, because you need to be adding a wide range of things on your value, on your Facebook or Instagram, so that people get to know you. So like I said before, the know, like and trust. So doing live so people get to see you as a person is really good. Showing testimonials, either your own or other people's. So get testimonials that I would say like once a day off the testimonial page, but always double check that it's a testimonial that people will allow you to share, because people might not want to, you know, have their testimony on your page. Okay, so just always double check. And also stories with polls are really good as well. So if you don't know how to do stories, go to your upline and they'll show you. But I find that polls are really, really good. But when you're doing a poll, never do a site like give me info, you know, or whatever, or yes or no. Always do it with 2 positives. So you're not you don't ever get anyone saying anything negative. Hopefully that makes sense. I haven't got time to go into it. Another thing that really works is one-liners. So just these things like, who wants to lose a stone in January, or who wants to know, I've got 2 places left on my £5 budget plan, right? And I'm not into weight loss really, because I've never lost any weight off Juice Plus. I've never tried to. I've always been the same way, right? So for me, it's not about kind of weight loss, but it's about, I know a lot of people want to lose weight. So if you put something like that, and then you get people in your inbox, you start conversations. Let me just very quickly just go through an example of how I would turn a £5 budget plan into a full plan, like the whole thing. Okay, so if someone says like, oh, I saw, you know, they like, right? I just say, thanks for your like. I really appreciate your support. Would you like some information, right? Or if they comment, I would say, thanks for your interest. What are your health and body goals? So I would never just go straight into the £5 plan. I'd say, what are your health and body goals? And then I would say to them, like, so say for example, I had a girl recently, she came to me about the £5 plan. So I said, what are your health and body goals? She said, I will lose 5 stone. And I said, have you got any health goals as well? And she said, oh, I'd love to have more energy. So I said, I went in about the boosters. I said, right, the £5 plan is the boosters. Briefly said, you know, they help to reduce the appetite, blah, blah, blah. But then I said, but what you would love is, I'm sure you would love, is our superfood shakes, because they actually work out cheaper. That you actually save money with them because they're cheaper than a meal, and you're replacing a meal. They've got all the nutrition you need for a highly nutritious meal, and they give you energy and you'll feel fantastic too. Some people take the shakes, some people take the boosters, people take them both. How do they sound? And I put also, we've got some amazing capsules which will help you with your health and your energy as well. She said, I'd like to hear about the capsules too. She came back, she ended up, her sale was boosters, shakes, healthy starts for families. I sent her a lift as a thank you, in a little thank you card, and she bought the lift as well. And now she's been a client for like almost a year. So if I'd have just gone in with the £5 thing, then she would, you know, that's basically what I'm trying to say is try and find out what people's health and body goals are, because then you can help them in a whole round way and give them the results that they want. So they're not just losing weight, but then they still haven't got the energy, or they still haven't got this. Does that make sense? So also, yeah, so basically, just think this, guys. I've just realized I'm running out of time. So basically, just think this. You need to be consistent. You need to share your story. You need to think to yourself, in your mind every single day, who can I help? And when you get an inquiry or a like or whatever, always chase your likes with what I've just said. And then also just, you know, just think, how can I help them to achieve, you know, like their health and body goals? So, I'm running out of time, so I'd love to talk a little bit longer, but I can't. So I'm going to leave off there. So I really hope that was helpful. Get yourself a DMO and tick it off every day. And like Eddy said before, make sure it's manageable. You know, like some people, if it's too manageable, then you might not be able to just do it and you might just go off the whole idea. So just make sure that you keep connections and you're finding people, adding people, messaging people every day, doing the same as what Michelle did for, you know, talking about for recruiting. Do the same with your, you know, to find your customers basically, but try and solve their problems. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you got some value. And then I am going to introduce our next speaker. We've had a little change. I hope you don't mind, but you're going to absolutely love our next speaker. And it is back to James Sanderson, who's got his cowboy hat on over there. Yeah. And James first saw the company in 1987 in Dallas, Texas. He then started in the UK in 1988. He went to NMD in 1993. And then he went on to PMD. And James is the longest standing distributor in Europe. How amazing is that? So he is more excited than ever before. And as James said, the best is yet to come. So take it away, James. And I would love to you to share how you can get to NMD in 2021.
Okay, everyone. So here I am with my cowboy hat on. And this is a hat that I got when I was living in Dallas. So, you know, it's got a big memory for me because Texas, big place, and it introduced me to something which has just obviously been unbelievable. It's been a lifelong love affair. So I'm going to be talking about how to get to NMD in this year, 2021. So the first thing is to get ready with your calendar, right? So the key thing is, as Eddy was saying, is to write out a commitment. And so the commitment basically is that January the 1st, 2021, right? Each one of us is going to be an NMD. Yep, going to be an NMD on January the 1st, 2021. So let's back it up a little bit. So we're looking at this year, we are going to be aiming to be a sales coordinator by April the 1st. If we're in a standing start now, we're going to be aiming to be a sales coordinator by April the 1st. We're also then going to be a QSSC by June the 1st. An SSC by July the 1st, a QNMD by October the 1st. Everybody get that? So we're going to be an SC by April the 1st, QSSC by June 1, SSC by July 1, QNMD by October the 1st. All of those are utterly achievable. Yeah. So as Eddy said, it's all about, you know, setting a commitment and going for it. So now I'm going to tell you my story. I'm just gonna, everything I'm gonna tell you now is my story. I had to stand in this morning at last minute, you know, because Zara said, suddenly 2 days ago, I can't make this slot. I've got to take my father-in-law to the hospital. So I said, okay, don't worry. I thought to myself, I've got someone absolutely wonderful to introduce as the speaker, and it's gonna be Millie. So guess what happened? This morning, Millie rang me, or she messaged me to say, I've got to go to the doctors. Though she's got something she's got to deal with, that's fine. And she went to the doctor. So I thought, right, okay then. So this is me. So this is my opportunity. Okay, so I'm going to tell you my story. So I started in I first saw the business in 1987, right? So I was a little bit of a slow starter, right? I saw it in 87, I saw it in Dallas, Texas. I went to an event with 500 people there. And at that time we were in the water business. Yes, before Juice Plus, we were selling in-home water systems. And I remember looking in the room and all the people, the 500 people there, and I thought to myself, how can all these people want to become plumbers? I couldn't get it. But then as I sat there in the room and I heard the guy speak and the speaker, I thought, right, I get this. And you know, one big word just really spoke to me across the whole of the auditorium. That one word I saw on that day was freedom. I saw an opportunity to never have to work again. Now, I'd had an interesting scenario when I was living in Texas because I'd come across someone who was already involved in network marketing. And he told me one time, his name was Rowan, he said to me, James, we're earning so much money, we don't know what to do with it. And I thought, what? What type of business is this? So when I was sitting there in the room in Dallas, Texas, I thought to myself, great, I have found something. I need to investigate this. So as I was coming away from that event and I was driving away in an old Toyota, you know, clouds of smoke coming out the back, I'd be overtaken by a Porsche and then a Mercedes and then, you know, a BMW. And I remember thinking to myself, I could have one of those from this business. And then I thought, oh, I'm so stupid, you can't possibly have that. You don't know anything about this type of business. Anyway, 1993, there I was in Porsche in Reading, buying a brand new Porsche for cash. For cash. from this business. And I remember my car was parked outside in Porsche, and honestly, it was so filthy dirty. And I just never washed it because I'd been so focused on building my business. So anyway, there we go. So I drove off that day in a lovely brand new Porsche. And I'll tell you a funny thing. Within 6 months, I'd crashed it. I'd written it off. Can you believe it? I wrote it off in the car park of where I used to live. So anyway, that's another story. All right. So at the end of my, I had no sponsor, by the way, in the UK. I was sponsored internationally. So if you're sitting there with a sob story saying, oh, I don't have a good sponsor, or I'm not in contact with my sponsor, do you know it's the best thing that could ever happen to you, because it makes you become self-reliant. It makes you take personal responsibility. So my sponsor was living in America, and I had to take personal responsibility for my own success. But wait for this, by the end of my first year, I was ready to quit. Woo! I was ready to quit because things really weren't going right. But I went to an event, and I sat there, and Jay Martin, who's the president of the company, was speaking, and he said, what we need to do is go out and find a business buddy. And that is what I did. I went out and I sought to find someone to work with to really build the business. And I would say that's the best bit of advice I can give anyone. Find a business buddy, because 1 and 1 is not 3. 1 and 1 is about 1,000 in terms of effectiveness. So we started building, and you know, it was amazing. So anyway, let's just go on. I'm going to give you some snapshots, right, of what you've got to have in place to go NMD. Are you ready for this? The first snapshot that you've got to have is you've got to have a system. What is your system? So when I first started, our system that we had very simply was events, inviting, and training. That's what we did. Events, inviting, and training. And we ran weekly events right from word go. You know, and sometimes we wouldn't have anyone there, but we just ran them anyway. But you know what? Within 4 years, we were up to 500 people a week. Now, of course, in live events. So, of course, now it's all online and everything. And so here we are today with 358 people. Well done, everyone, for taking the time out on your Saturday to commit to yourself, to commit to your future. Well done. Unbelievable. So the next big banner thing I want to have that you want to have in your mind to go NMD is planning and mapping. So this was a very, very important key. If you could mute yourself, please, whoever it is. Yeah. So the next big banner that we've got to have is the concept of planning and mapping. And that is that in order to achieve the goal of going sales coordinator by April the 1st and SSC by July 1 and so on and so forth, we've got to be very, very clear, writing out on a bit of paper or whatever you work with, what we've already got in terms of volume, what we hope we can potentially get from the people that we've already got, and what extra we need to have. And then we need to add a little bit on top of that to make sure we achieve it. So do you remember that Eddy's girl, I can't remember her name, in Belgium, she did it 60,000 euros to go NMD, which was tremendous. So that's the sort of thing that we need to be aiming for, aiming high. Planning and mapping will always get you to your goal. It's an incredible tool. You know, you are always on the threshold of your breakthrough if only you can walk through the door. That's the key. It's understanding that you're on the threshold of your breakthrough and you need to walk through the door, not to hold back, but to walk through the door. All right, so planning and mapping is the first big banner to talk about. The next big banner is DMO, daily method of operation. To go NMD, we have to have a DMO. What was my DMO? Talk to 5 new people every day, connect to 5 new people every day. Wait for this. This was before social media. So what was I doing? I was on the telephone. I was out meeting people. I was talking to people at the checkout. I was doing absolutely everything. But that was the absolute key. And we used to have this thing where we used to put 5 coins in one pocket. And by the end of the day, you had to move the coins from one pocket to the other, showing the number of people that you'd spoken to. But it was incredible, the results that started coming. And it was really the lifeblood of my whole business. All right, so the next banner to go NMD, big banner, strategy. We've got to have a strategy. And My big strategy really was to work with referrals. All of the people that I've got in my team, all of my frontline people have all been introduced by other people. And I've always worked through other people to find other people. So it's amazing. And I was taught that when I first started, I need to look at every new person that I bring into the business as like a pane of glass. I need to look through them to all the people that they know and to work through them. So I developed a national marketing director in Germany, in Berlin. How on earth did that happen? Well, that started with a school friend of mine who lived in Bath, and we had a presentation down there, and my sponsor from America came, can you believe it? All the way from America went to Bath. And we did a presentation. There were about 25 people in the room that day. From that led to a tremendous momentum, which led to people in Croydon, and then it's moved over to someone in Frankfurt, and it then moved over to someone in Berlin. And this person, she was a self-starter, she's an incredible woman, single mother from Malaysia living in Berlin. She went NMD. So I chased a business all the way across the UK, and then I found an amazing person in Berlin. So all of the people that I've got are all through referrals. Another person who came in, please mute yourself, everyone. Another person and who I brought in, who was very, very significant, was someone called Peter. And I had an in-home meeting at my flat in London, and I had someone helping me to develop and bring people into the in-home meeting once a week. And he invited my neighbor. And I thought, oh no, he's invited my neighbor. And the reason why I thought, oh no, I love my neighbor to pieces, but I thought my neighbor is going to just be a huge distraction. You know, that's not going to work very well. But you know, it was an incredibly inspired thing, because she subsequently invited Peter to the next event, and Peter brought in huge numbers of people. So if I look at Paula today, the amazing Paula was brought in as a result of that one event in my flat. And so, you know, it's incredible what happens. So never think that things can't happen for you. The most amazing things can happen for all of us if we just put ourselves out there. You know, successful people do what unsuccessful people are not prepared to do. Yeah? Successful people do what unsuccessful people are not prepared to do. I was just all out. I was prepared to do whatever it took to be successful. And I still am. I'm still prepared to go the extra mile all the time, all the time. You know, there's no big clues with success. It's just all out massive action. All right, so the next big thing and the next big banner, everyone, okay, about going NMD is visualize, visualize, visualize yourself going NMD. You know, I used to imagine myself picking up my pin at the office. At that time, we had an office in, well, we still do have an office in Maidenhead, but we had another office in Maidenhead. And I used to imagine that my pin was in the cabinet and it was ready to be delivered to me. It was already there. My pin was there ready for me. The other thing that I used to do, so when we were at events, you know, remember events? We do have the most amazing events. At the end of the big event, you know, where there'd be like 500, 1,000, 2,000 people in the room. At the end of the event, I would go up on the podium and stand on the stage by the podium, imagining myself giving my NMD speech. And I was just a sales coordinator then, but that really helped me visualize to see myself getting there. Now, another big banner for going NMD is our commitment. Our commitment. Now, you remember Eddy said at the beginning, he said, commit, tell people, or basically commit to going NMD. But you know what? The bigger commitment, the unbelievable commitment, is to tell other people what you're going to do. Now, that is the clincher as far as I'm concerned. Privately, just writing it down on a bit of paper, it's powerful, but it's not as powerful as telling other people. If you go and if you start telling people that I'm going NMD by the end of this year, and you tell enough people, it becomes big time reality. I remember being at an event once in London, and I was there with, at that time, the top distributor in the UK, a guy called Gary. This is a long, long time ago. And you know, there were about 200 people in the room. And he said to me out the back, we were at the back, you know, running the event that day. And he said to me, James, when are you going NMD? And at that point I was QNMD. And I said, oh, I'm going to do it next month. And I did it in a sort of an aside, a sort of, yeah, okay, you know, I can tell him anything, it doesn't really matter. And then he said to me, well, why don't you go up the front of the room and tell everyone that's what you're going to do? And I was like, what? Oh my God. And as soon as he said that to me, it suddenly became reality. It suddenly sat on me. And I thought, right, I'm taking this on now. This is a reality for me. And I did. I went up to the front of the room. I did. And it was very difficult. It was very, very difficult. I know it sounds ridiculous to say this, but I said to everyone, I'm going NMD next month. And as I said it, it became reality. But, you know, I didn't actually make it the next month, but I made it the month after. And if I'd never made the commitment, it never would have happened. So powerful, very, very powerful. All right. The next big banner to go NMD is to get in the zone. Get in the zone. So what do I mean by going in the zone? I mean, going to every event you possibly can, go to every, you know, DMO call, everything you can, every conference, everything that you can. In the early days, I used to fly to America twice a year for the conferences. It was non-negotiable. And I would go with 20 or 30 people. I went, right in the early stages, I went with a downline of what became my top person who ever sponsored. And he went to a conference with me in the US. He got on the phone to this guy who ended up being the top person I'd ever sponsored. And from the hotel room in the US, he said, you've got to come over to see this. This is unbelievable. And amazingly, he came over. He flew all the way to America. So, you know, it's getting in the zone. It's also reading, listening to stuff. I aim every day to inspire myself. At the beginning of the day, I aim to be inspired by something I've read or listened to every day, because I then become a magnet for other people, because I'm adding so much value. Okay, just moving on to finish off now. So the next big banner is my prospect list. So who's on your prospect list? So I recommend that everyone has a constant list that they're updating all the time. When I first wrote a list, I had 20 people on the list. I was so excited about it. My sponsor said to me, James, that's absolutely hopeless. Can you imagine that? That was just so insulting. But he said, you've got to get a list of 100. And, you know, it was great that I did, because the number 66 on my list was the most fantastic person I've ever sponsored. Hadn't seen him for 11 years, didn't even have his telephone number, had to stand up to make the call, but he came in, and that one call made me a fortune. So it's really worth having a prospect list. But also really, really important, and this is something that people really massively overlook, is have a drip list. And the drip list is all of the people that you have ever spoken to, and you're constantly going back to them. Now, we had Lauren Slocum on one of our calls a little bit ago, big PMD 100 club in America. Do you know what? It took her 17 years to come in. Can you believe that? 17 years it took her to come in. But now she works ferociously, unbelievably. And do you know how many people she's got on her drip list? 400. 400 people. She's got 400 people that she's constantly going back to. So don't waste our, you know, the big message is, let's not waste our prospects. That, you know, a lot of people will say no to us 2 or 3 or 4 times. Don't let those people go. Keep them on the drip list and keep going back to them over and over again. And then finally, the key thing about going NMD is having a mindset shift about service. And it's all about not who we can sell to, not who we can find, not who we can influence, but who we can serve. Who can I serve today? Who can I help today? And as we have that mindset, then people will come flooding to us. And someone said to me something which I found mind-blowing some time ago. They said, all of the people in your network, all of the people that you're going to get NMD with, you're already connected to. Wait for that. You're already connected to all the people that are going to come into your team to go NMD. All you've got to do is unearth them. And the real critical thing is to build up as much momentum as you can right from the word go. And I'll finish with this. Our businesses are like a plane taking off. When the plane takes off, when you're sitting in the seat, the plane takes the maximum amount of power to get off the ground. If you give it any less than maximum power, it won't get off the ground. And that's really the absolutely key image we have to go NMD in 1 year. We have to sit at the controls of our plane, imagining our plane all empty at that time as we take off, but it's going to fill up with people coming into our team. We give it maximum power. We pull back the throttle until the plane is literally shaking with power. The engines are just roaring, ready to go. And then it breaks off and we're thundering down the runway, and we're keeping up the power, and we're keeping up the power. We're talking to people, we're reaching out to people, we're going completely mad. The plane is taking off, and we keep the power going, we keep the power going, we keep the power going throughout the whole of this year. And once we get to January 2021, and we've gone NMD, we can throttle back a bit and then keep the power going all the way up to PMD. So there we go, everyone. That's going NMD in 2021. All right, so I'm going to introduce to you now our next amazing speaker, and I've got to tell you, I'm beyond imagination on our next speaker in terms of the awe of everything that she has achieved and everything that she is as a person. So this is the wonderful story about our next speaker. And I joined in March 2013, 39 Club in August 2013, PMD in August 2013, 100 Club in January 2014. I mean, what a journey, unbelievable. For the first time in my life, I'm doing something that matters, that makes a real difference in people's lives. I've been able to release myself and my husband from the chains of corporate life, provide our children with parents who are present properly in their lives every day. And it's only just the beginning of our story. The most exciting part is our mission, to help people every day to create the same lifestyles for themselves. If I can do it, they can do it. Everybody, would you just join me in giving an enormous welcome to Juice Plus legend, Emma Snedden.
Hey, everybody. Can you hear me?
Hey.
Hi. Oh, I got these AirPods from Santa Claus, so I'm like, oh, do they work? Do they not work? I don't know, but hopefully
You're a little bit slightly gargled.
Am I? Shall I? Can you hear me okay if I don't shout?
It's a little bit gargled.
Right, I'm going to take them out then.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's better if you... Yeah, sorry to say that, but we just hear your beautiful voice.
Wait 1 second. Okay, how's that? Is that any better?
It's better, yeah.
Can you hear me okay?
Perfect now, yeah.
Okay, awesome. Let me just turn you up so I can hear you guys as well. It was a little bit of a risky strategy to try them for the first time on a big call, but there you go. Thank you so much for that introduction. I hope everyone is good and I'm feeling great. And I'm, I definitely would think you need to go for Prime Minister or something, James. Like, just unbelievable. And we definitely don't hear enough from you. Like, we definitely need to get you on stage or something definitely more often when we have this format again, we can get out in the world. So I have got the privilege of kind of wrapping up our coffee morning today. I just want to say, in case I forget at the end, because I'll get in the zone and I'll forget, just a huge thank you to James and Paula for pulling this all together, for inviting us all on here. Like, there's so many of my team are on here, so many of the wider team on here as well, and just what a fantastic way to start a Saturday morning. So I really appreciate you taking the time and effort. These things don't just happen, you know, it takes time and effort pulling it together, getting the speakers, and I know it was like, it's probably about 2 months ago that James asked me to do this, so very organized. And yeah, just want to say a massive thank you, just in case I forget at the end. So yeah, from all of us, it's really kind of you to do it, and really kind of all the speakers to take that time as well. So I wanted to share a couple of things with you. I think you've had loads of tips already, loads of how-tos and loads of what-to-dos, and I honestly think really, unless you've literally just joined the business in the last couple of days or weeks, you know what to do anyway. Most of it, the actual what to do, exactly what James said, is even right at the start of his business, you know, 30 plus years ago. It's actually not that much different, right? What you need to do, which is inviting people to events, sharing the product, sharing the story. The only difference really is where we do it and how often we do it and how much of it we do. And so each of us individually makes that decision for ourselves, don't we? We all decide, how am I going to do this, and where am I going to share this, and who am I going to share this with, and who's next on my list, and who am I putting this in front of. And you know, it's not one of the biggest kind of tips, I suppose, that you can give somebody or you can have in your armory is to not overcomplicate this business. It is not a complicated business. It's really simple. It's not easy. No one's going to give you £120,000 worth of bonuses for something easy. So I never would say to anybody, like, if you want the big money and the life-changing stuff, that it's easy, because it isn't. But it's simple. It's simple and it's straightforward, and anybody can do it. So like, irrespective, and I love that about it, right? It's it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter what your background is, it doesn't matter where you come from, it doesn't matter what you've done up to this point in your life, it doesn't matter how old you are, as long as you're over 18. It doesn't matter where you live in the world, pretty much these days. We're a global business. It doesn't matter, you know, your physical appearance doesn't matter. Like, it's such an egalitarian business. It's such a place where whoever you are, as you sit here on the 9th of January 2021, like, whoever you are and the skill set that you've already got is enough, right? And where else can you offer that to somebody, right? You're already in, we're already in, but so think about not just about yourself, but where else and who else can you offer that opportunity to, when nothing matters in terms of your background. You can draw, and I love that, you can draw a line, or the people that you have in your network can draw a line in the sand of their life if they want to, and create something new, something additional, or something as a replacement, or whatever they choose. And it's ultimately their choice, right? Our job is to share the story. Their job is to decide whether they want to get involved. So you can go out into the world in 2021 incredibly confident about offering this product to people, incredibly confident about offering this business opportunity to people, because people need it. And I honestly think that if you can show up confidently, whether it's in people's inboxes, whether it's in people's lives, whether it's on people's WhatsApp, whether it's in, you know, in a face-to-face scenario when we're able to do that again, or whatever way that you share things with people, when you show up confidently, confident in what you're sharing, confident in what you're doing, excited about the future, optimistic about what you're doing, anybody can do that, whether you started this week, last week, or 30 years ago, right? You don't have to have the most incredible story to be successful, because if that was the case, none of us would be successful, right? Because we all start at the bottom, we all start a partner, we all start with no real knowledge of how to do this or what to do. So I'd love it if some of you've chatted there already, but if you've joined the business in the last 2 months, so in December or January, just pop in there like, I'm new. I'd love to see how many of this on this call are, you know, relatively new in this business. We did a call last night with 7 people who've joined since the start of the first kind of lockdown last year. It was just incredible what those people have created from nothing, you know, from having different stories, different backgrounds, different things going on, you know, and creating incredible futures for themselves just by saying yes to this. So if you take nothing else from what I say for the next sort of 10 minutes, just leave this call and you will feel motivated. I'm sure you feel inspired right now. It's a great time actually to contact people, is straight after a good call or a good opportunity call or a good training call, because you're pumped, aren't you? You're like, right, let's go. So it's a good time to send those connection messages and offer the business to people, because you feel excited and you feel motivated and you feel inspired. So what I'm going to do is quickly I'm going to talk a little bit about, I'm going to turn my phone off actually first. I'm going to talk a little bit about my story, because I think what James asked me to talk about was just doing whatever it takes. And I think if I can share a little bit of my story about how and why, and I think Paula touched on really making sure, and write this down, don't tell people what, Tell them why, whether it's product, business, story, always focus on the why. The what is okay, but what is Juice Plus? Tell them why you use it. What's the business? Tell them why you love it. That's the answer to what is it. The answer is why. So I'll touch on that in a minute if I get a second. But I'm going to talk a little bit about doing whatever it takes to get what you really want. So a lot of people, when they join this business, same as me, back in 2013, I was working in a corporate job. I've got 3 children. I was working 100 hours a week, incredibly time poor, really wasn't looking for anything else. I struggled to slide a piece of paper extra into my day, right? Really time poor, really stressed out of my brains, trying to juggle mum life, wife life, home life, business life, employee life, trying to be everything to everybody, definitely me, bottom of the pile in all of that at times, trying to fit in, going to the gym. And I remember feeling, you know, quite stressed about things, but I wasn't unhappy and I wasn't looking for anything new. And I was very much on this kind of ambitious kind of ladder that I was on in my job. I wanted the big corner office, I wanted the nice car, I wanted all of that stuff. That's what I thought I wanted. You know, I'd worked really hard all my life. I've always wanted to do, and I'd really encourage, if you're going to do something, like, do it properly, right? Don't half measure things. It's 2021. We need to be all in with something. If we're going to do it, let's do it properly. So everything I've ever done in my life, I've either done it or not done it. You know, I'm either dieting or I'm eating everything. I'm either drinking or I'm not drinking at all. I'm working or I'm not working. And I'm building this or I'm not building it. So I would really encourage you, especially now, and again, I'm going to touch on this at the very end, the time really is now. Like I've said it before, but like right now, the dots are all in place. The stars are aligned. You've just got to kind of pull them all together, right? There's never been a time like there is in the world right now for you to really maximize your business. But when I looked at this at 2013, I was a happy customer. I loved it. Definitely wasn't looking for a business opportunity. My upline and my sponsor was John Holowatty. He was my personal trainer at the time. And he kind of half-assed, honestly, believe it or not, right? He kind of half-assed offered me the business opportunity because he didn't think that I needed it, right? He was looking for skint people. He was looking for people who had nothing. And that wasn't like financially, and that wasn't me. I didn't have nothing. I had a great job, great life. My husband had a great job. But what we didn't have was any time. And that's not the bit that people see, right? People see the external, the money, the house, the car, the things like that. But the sacrifices that we made, and some of you will be in the same position or you'll know people in the same position, the sacrifices that we made for that was I was never at home. My kids were in childcare or nursery from like 7 in the morning till 7 at night. We squashed our entire life into weekends. We had to, you know, this beautiful home that we lived in, I didn't spend any time in it. I had this great car. I practically worked from the car all the time. I was traveling all over the country, all over the world with work. And my kids it was great in my 20s, don't get me wrong, I loved it, right? In my 20s, I was like, yeah, bring it on, this is amazing. And even in my early 30s, after I got married, still loved it, brilliant. But when I had my kids, I was like, not sure this is really what I had planned, actually. You know, my kids were getting to like, they were 3 and 5 when I joined the business. And you know, my daughter started school and I missed her first day at school because I had to be at work at the other end of the country. My little boy was 3 and I was starting to see the same thing happening with him. And I didn't want to do that again. I didn't want to miss another moment with either of them. And this business honestly has enabled me to totally flip that on its head. So because I didn't know how to get out of that situation, I wasn't unhappy. I wasn't, you know, we had great income, but it didn't give me the personal life that I wanted, the family life that I wanted. But everybody was the same, right? Everyone I knew was the same. Every working mum I knew was in the same position, working to, you know, working really hard, turning up to get paid, having this great big dream of like this financial goal that we had and blah, blah, blah. But when I came across Juice Plus, it really turned everything on its head for me. And I want it to do the same for you, because it will if you let it. Right? If you don't let it, if you don't look at it, I mean, you guys are sort of preaching to the converted a little bit because you're on here on a Saturday morning, right? But this business will transform your life in any way that you want it to if you let it. But you've got to be open to letting it do it. You've got to be open to looking at what it might be, what it could be, and what it will be if you want it to be. But it does take, and I'm going to speak to those of you who want more, right? And I actually fundamentally believe that that's everybody. Right? I think it's everybody. I think everybody wants more. I think sometimes we say to people, you know, what do you want from this? Like when you first join the business, when you joined, what did you join for? If I'm honest, if you're honest, right? Did you join for a bit of extra money? Did you join for a bit of extra time freedom? Did you join to pay for your products? The vast majority of people, I think, and certainly even the people that are bringing to the business now, they usually say, oh, it'd be great to earn about £500 a month. That tends to be the kind of ballpark figure that you hear. You know, £300 a month, £500 a month, that would be amazing. And it is, right? That's great. £500 a month, £6 grand a year extra coming in, fantastic. But is that what you really want? Really, honestly, if you put your hand on your heart, is that all you want for yourself? An extra £500 a month? Or if I turn up on your doorstep on the 10th of every month with £2 grand in a case and 500 in the other one, which one do you want? I'll take the £2 grand. Wouldn't you? So when you say what you want, you've got to say to yourself, what do I really want, if I'm honest? Because it isn't what you want when you say 500, it's what you think you're capable of. It's what you think it might be. We all talk ourselves down. We don't want to scare ourselves. We don't want to fail. So we go, oh, well, I'll just go there. Right, I'll just go to Kirk, I'll just 500. But it's not true, it's not real, it's not true. You don't only want £500 a month. I don't believe it. I don't believe I'd turn up on your doorstep with 2 cases, one with 5 in and one with 10 in. Which one do you want? I'll take the 10. So be honest with yourself. What do you really want? Right, and it's not always about the money, but it's about what you do with the money. And the other guys have touched on that a little bit, and I haven't got time to go into it. I'm really short of time, unfortunately. But I want you to be really honest with yourself, because it's not what you want, it's what you're prepared to do to get what you want, right? Because it takes more effort, it takes more conversations, it takes putting yourself out more, it takes getting on more calls, it takes doing whatever it takes, right? So yes, you want it, but are you prepared to do what it takes to want it? That's the difference. That's the difference between A and B. It's the difference between the people who earn £100 a month and the people who earn £5,000 a month. It's what they want to do to get it. And are you prepared to do? And it's not forever either, right? For a period of time, it might be 6 months, it might be 6 years, right? For a period of time, if you can do whatever it takes, you can build whatever you want. For a period of time, right? This business is like, it's under a microscope, isn't it? Like the highs are really, really high, the wins are really, really amazing, but then the lows are really, really low. The no's are really, really hurt, because everything's, everything's under a microscope. Everything's bigger. The wins are bigger. The lows are bigger. But it's also, you can squash an entire career into 5 years, right? 5 years might sound like a long time, but let me tell you something, it's coming anyway. If we're fortunate enough to, carry on living, carry on breathing, then it's coming anyway. I cannot believe this is I'm nearly 8 years in this business now, and I joined to earn £200 a month in, February to 2013. And when I saw, and this is what I'm going to talk about a little bit, whatever it takes, when I saw what was possible, right? When I went to an event, or I got on, mine was like a live event, there was about 30 people in the room. And I heard from a girl who was earning £2.5 grand a month at 25 years old. She was a single mum, she'd been spraying shoes in a bowling alley. And she was spending all day at the park with her daughter, and I was spending all day at work. And I remember sitting at the back with my little piece of paper. I knew absolutely nobody. And I just earned £87 in my first few weeks in the business, right? My first check, March 2013. And I was like, hold on, how is that possible? How do you earn £2.5 grand a month? Like after childcare and all the other stuff, she was earning similar to me. Half of my, 6-figure income went on childcare so that I could go to bloody work in the first place. So I took a proper look at it, and I remember saying to John, how do I do that? Like, how do I get the £2.5 grand a month? And he was just like, what, you're already doing more of it. You're already doing it, right? So you guys have got to look at, am I already doing it? And can I do more of it? Can I do it? Can I do it? It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to have perfect social media, thank the Lord, right? Mine's not great. I love Facebook. I'm not great on Instagram, but I'm out there. I'm just putting it out there. Put content out there. Put yourself out there. Talk to people. Done. Better than perfect, right? If you want to go live, just bloody press 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go live. It doesn't matter what you talk about. It doesn't matter what you look like. I look like I've actually put makeup on for the first time, I think, in about 8 months today, right? I do Zoom calls morning, noon and night with a mum bun in, right? I do lives all day, on and off, right, with a mum bun in. Everybody, my guys know that I always rock up. How you are is enough in this business. Where else can you offer that to people right now? So you've got to decide what you want, and are you prepared to do whatever it takes to get it? And if you're not, guys, that's totally cool, right? There's no pressure in this business, no boss, no one's going to come hunting you down to say, come on. You got to drive you. You're driving this bus, you're driving this train, this is your train, this is your, you know, bus to success. You're driving it. It's not your upline's job to go, come on, chop, 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 get on the call. Are you on the call? Are you on the call? Did you get on the call? I didn't get on the call. Okay, you didn't get on the call. That's not down to me. That's down to you. You didn't get to the event. That's not down to me. I'm on it. Right? I have done a 11:30 call for my team every single day, 7 days a week for 6 months. John and I have done a Monday night call every single Monday for 3 years this month. Every single Monday. We haven't missed one opportunity call every single Monday night for 3 years. Do I want to do it every week? No. You honestly, they should see the voice notes sometimes between me and John on a Monday. I call, oh my God, it's the call, it's the call. We haven't got any speakers, we haven't organized. Do we get on? Do we love it? Do we want to sign up again every time we do it? Yeah. Right, that's a commitment. It's not our job or your job to chase everybody. No one's going to chase you. In this business, you've got to be motivated by opportunity. And it's weird because we're not normally, right? Normally we're motivated by fear. Why do you go to work normally in your normal life? Because if you don't go to work, you don't get paid. And if you don't get paid, you can't pay your mortgage. So we go to work out of fear. We turn up at our normal job because we're scared if we don't, what will happen. This isn't like that. This is different. This has got to be, I'm motivated by opportunity, because if you don't show up, no one's going to chase you. You'll just wake up one day and all the people who joined at the same time of you will be further on than you. Why? Because they showed up every day. They got moving every day. They did whatever it took. And some people will and some people won't, but that you can't influence that, right? You've got to focus on what you want. You've got to focus on where you want to be in 6 months' time. I honestly believe that you've got to set yourself a vision, right? You can have me every day, right? I'm on those power hours. I'm pretty much accessible. You can access my social media, right? People saying that you can access my social media. You can see me pretty much every day. If you're in my team or anywhere, I'm definitely, you can access people in this business are so accessible. You can follow Michelle, you can follow Paula, you can follow James. Like, we're always accessible and available to, you know, you can see what we're doing all the time. There's nothing hidden in my life. If you meet me at the next convention, you'll feel like you already know me, because my life is out there. And that's what I want. I want that thing, because that's how people get attracted to what you're doing, right? You want to become the hunted, guys. You want people to be hunting you down. I want to join your team. I want to join your business. I want to buy this product from you. I want to, right? That's utopia, isn't it? When you get to the point and you pick up your phone and you've got 5 messages saying, can I join your business? It looks amazing. What do you do? Can you send me some info? That's what you want to get to. And you will get to that if you consistently show up. Do all the things that Michelle talked about. Absolutely incredible. But you've got to do it. You've got to have that vision, have that thing that you want, and it's got to drive you. I heard a great quote the other day. You've got to be the Michael Phelps of your business, right? You've got to be in Michael Phelps of what you do. Michael Phelps is a swimmer in America. He's got the most gold medals of anybody at the Olympics. He is incredible. And you've got to stick your goggles on and you've got to swim like this. Your life depends on it, because it does. It does. Your life does depend on it. Your kids' lives depend on it. Your partner's life depends on it. Your income depends on it. Your future depends on it. You've got the golden egg here. Like, don't put it to one side and come back to it in a week or come back to it in a month and wonder why it hasn't grown or gone anywhere. You know, I honestly felt when I saw what was possible with this in 2013, I had every excuse that I could have had. Busy, like I didn't know where I was going to find the time. I didn't know where I was going to find the people. I was crap at social media. I was working every hour that God sent for somebody else. I still had to do that for the first 12 months. But when I saw a tiny chink of light in my future, and I thought, imagine what this could be. My husband didn't get it. My parents didn't understand it. My kids were like, oh, you're going to another event, Mom. You're always at events. You're always on your phone or whatever, right? Okay. And I remember saying to my husband, give me 12 months. Just give me 12 months. And at that point, I'll give you an idea of what my day used to look like. And it was different every day, but roughly speaking, right? I would go to the gym at 6 o'clock, which is actually where I met John, right? I'd go to the gym at 6 o'clock in the morning if I could fit it in. I would go from there at 6:45 straight to work, usually other end of the country. Lived in Manchester, would maybe drive to Cardiff or Dundee or London or anywhere, have a client meeting, back in the car. So I hadn't seen my kids since I'd put them to bed the night before most days. If I was lucky, I would be back home before 6 or 7 o'clock to maybe put them to bed or maybe pick them up from the childminder. I'm stressed out of my brains on the M6. I was always stuck between junction 15 and 16 going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, I'm not going to be home, I'm not going to be home, oh my God. Like really, I feel stressed now just talking about it, right? And then I would literally, if I was lucky, get home, hopefully spend a minute or two with the kids, maybe read them a story. And then the minute they were in bed, I went to an event. Hosted an event, spoke at an event, and they weren't events in Manchester, they were events in Sheffield, Newcastle, Liverpool, right? Back in the car, another 2-hour drive to Newcastle, another 2-hour drive to Sheffield, another hour and a half, whatever, to Liverpool. Do an event, meet loads of people, bring people into the business, help people to get started, right? Back in the car, back home. So, sometimes I didn't get home till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, probably 2 or 3 times a week. You don't get to PMD in 7 months by sitting on your backside. You get it by working, by doing it, by wanting it, by doing whatever it takes. Now, I didn't have that goal. I wasn't looking at like I just knew that I had a window of opportunity to make this work for us, right? And you guys have that now. You have that window of opportunity right now. Like everything is aligned right now. And you probably, I would say at the most, to get this moving, you've got 4 months. Definitely 6 weeks. So speak to your family, speak to your partner, speak to your kids and say, this is what mummy or daddy is doing, right? I'm going to build this. I'm going to be on Zoom calls. When I'm working, I'm working. You can create time for everybody. There's 24 hours in a day. You've got time to sleep. You've got time to eat. You've got time to work. You've got time to parent. You've got time to do Juice Plus. You probably haven't got time to watch the telly if you really want this. You probably haven't got time to scroll and roll on Facebook and Instagram too much. But you've got to decide, I'm not going to do that for you. I can't. I know what I'm doing. I'm doing that, right? My kids know what the schedule in our kitchen has got. Here's when mummy's got calls. Here's when I'm working. If I'm in my office, where I am, spare bedroom, by the way, if when I'm in here, the kids know I'm working. It doesn't mean they can't come in. It doesn't mean so my little boy came in before. He went, mummy, I'm hungry. I was like, 12:30, I'll be done. You can have some food then. Okay, right? You've got a choice, guys, right? You kids might have a messy bedroom. You can make the bed or you can make a fortune. All that time you spend tidying the house, cleaning up, doing the ironing. That's, you pay yourself. What's your time worth? What's your time worth? You're paying yourself by the hour. Because trust me, an hour's ironing or an hour working an income producing activity, make the bed or make a fortune. And tell you what, I don't make the beds because I'm too busy making a bloody fortune, guys. I ain't got time for that. Get a cleaner, right? You might think you can't afford a cleaner. You can, right? Get this business to make you afford a cleaner. It's about 15 quid an hour, if probably less than that, depending on where you live. 30 quid a week. Is your time not worth more than 30 quid a week? Make the bed or make a fortune. Stick it on you above, on you somewhere. You can see it every day, because this is what I'm talking about, guys. I'm not talking about forever. I'm not saying you never tidy the house again, right? You won't need to because you'll have a cleaner. You might actually help somebody with their financial situation by giving them a job cleaning your house, doing your ironing. I don't even know where the iron is in our house because it doesn't make me any money. It doesn't help me build a team. It doesn't help me get a customer. So I decided back in 2013, I was either making the bed or I was making a fortune, and I chose to make a fortune. Now you decide for yourself what you want, right? Are you the Michael Phelps of this? I'll wrap up now, James. I can see you looking at Michael, right? Are you the Michael Phelps of your business? Are you the Michael Phelps of your team? Put your goggles on, swim like your life depends on it. And you know, when you don't feel like it, and when you don't want to, and when you're tired and you've had enough and everyone said no and the kids are nagging you and your partner wants date night, blah, blah, blah. Like, when all of that is happening, trust me, we've all got that, right? That's when you swim even harder. That's when you need the call even more. That's when you need to do one more message. That's when you need to do it. I am not an advocate of doing 24 hours on your business. I'm not saying you can't have a life, right? But you can have a life right now, or you can have the life of your dreams for the rest of your life. Which is it to be? Which do you want? And you decide. Guess what? This is all personal choice always, right? If all you really ever want in this business is an extra 500 quid a month, fantastic. Do you know what? 80% of the business is that. James will tell you the same. 80% of the people that join the business as team members are happy customers with 1 or 2 customers each. It isn't the be all and end all for them. I'm not really talking to those people unless this inspires you to be more. I'm talking to those of you who want more from this, who don't want to wake up at the start of 2022 and go, why didn't I really give that a go when I had it? When people were out of work, when people needed what we've got, when people were at home, when people were on social media, when people were looking for health. This is right now the best chance and time you are ever going to have to create something extraordinary for yourself and your family. Right? Look at, if you've got kids or a partner, look at the people that you love. This is my last thing, right? Honestly, look at the people that you love, people that you care about, right? And do it for, not for them, but because of them, right? I love the fact that my children don't remember when I used to go to work. I love the fact that, you know, that I can be here in the morning when they go to school, I love the fact that I can be here at night when they come home from school. I love the fact that I can say yes when they need something. I can say yes when they want to do online shopping. I love the fact that this business has enabled me to create a life for us where I can say you can do anything you want, guys. If you want to go to university, great. If you don't, great. If you want to travel the world, great. Because you know what? Mummy saw an opportunity and mummy went for it. What's never going to happen in my life, and hopefully will never happen in yours, is that your kids will be like, why didn't you give that a go? We could have had everything, but you didn't go for it. You didn't try. Imagine that, sitting with your kids and going, you could have had everything, you know. Mummy had a fantastic opportunity in 2021 to make our lives amazing, but I couldn't really be bothered. I was too tired. I was too stressed. I was too scared. Not on my watch. That ain't happening in my family on my watch. So don't let it happen in yours, because you've got it. You know something. You know something, and now you can't unknow it. Can you? So you get to choose, because this business is the same. The product, the business, the marketing plan is the same for everybody. Nobody gets special treatment. Nobody gets special service. We've got to step up. So that's my call to action for you. Right? Are you going to step up right now? Right now. Here we sit here and make this the best thing that you ever did, was say yes to this and get on this call this morning. Thank you so much for inviting me on the call. I hope that you found it useful. Go get it, guys. Just go get it.
Amazing, amazing, Emma. Thank you very much. I mean,
You're welcome.
Couldn't be a better person, honestly. So inspiring, unbelievable. Everyone, thank you so much for joining us today. You know, this is just an honor and a privilege to present what we're presenting today. We believe we've got the best opportunity bar none. Here it is all for us. And I hope you found something of real value today. Just to say, we'll be here at the same time next month, 10 till 12, first Saturday of every month, Coffee Success Training. And I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've taken loads of notes, and we look forward to seeing you soon. And thank you,
James. It's amazing.
Lots of love,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Emma.
Bye.
Bye.
Guys. Bye. Bye.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
Thank you.